If this next one's a coincidence, it certainly is a strange one. What are the chances 5 members of the Aurora City Council would all have their identities stolen? Each thought they were alone in that situation until they heard from colleagues at a council meeting. 9 News reporter Kevin Torres is live for us outside Aurora City Hall. And Kevin, any idea how these identities were stolen?
Well, Kyle, it's still under investigation. What counselors were able to gather from police is this, and it's really interesting. They were able to track down the items that were purchased online to a home on Chambers Road here in Aurora. When police went over there, the person said he had no idea that they were stolen items. In fact, he says that he was hired by a person in Germany to take on the items and basically would ship them overseas. It's unclear, though, as I said, whether or not he actually knew that he was accepting stolen items. Now, the person who did steal the identities of the 5 council members used that popular payment website called PayPal. And what you need in order to set up a PayPal account is a few simple items: a person's name, an email address, and the last 4 digits of their social security number. That's pretty rare, seeing as how most sites actually look for the full social security number. Still, as an identity theft expert who you're about to hear from, he says that this is pretty darn frightening.
This kind of stuff is scary for people.
Let's face it, folks, we're nothing more than a series of numbers, long strings of endless digits.
You know, it's like you don't even know what's happening.
All vulnerable to crazy, creepy people who prey on our identities.
Everybody has a story.
The story of Councilwoman Molly Margaret has been told time and time again.
The lesson in all of this is that everyone is vulnerable and everyone can be a victim.
She and 4 other council members received bills for items they never even purchased.
So it actually, truthfully, was kind of a relief when it was a council-related thing.
My day is filled with hundreds of thousands of people who get their identity stolen, so it's very common.
If there was ever an expert on identity theft, John Sileo would certainly be high on that list. He's written a few books on the issue and even does work for the Department of Defense and Homeland Security.
It's remarkably simple.
Sileo says the thief or thieves likely crack the counselors' codes by one of 2 ways.
A, it's an inside job. The second way is that their systems were hacked into.
What's also common is thieves searching for information on social media sites. With basic information provided on sites like Facebook with your name, birth date, and hometown, they can pretty much figure out your social security number.
Because social security numbers prior to July of this year were not assigned randomly. So if they were assigned based on the day you were born, where you were born, and what your name was, what number in line you were. Well, if you've got 2 pieces of that information, you know where they were born. So, you know, all the people in Colorado in 1968 are 523s. You know the second piece of it, the city that they were born in, the middle part, and you can generate the last based on the order in which they were born because you know the exact date they were born.
Sileo's best advice is this: keep it simple online. Don't give out all your info. Your name alone is just fine. Be aware of what's going on and freeze your credit profile immediately if you find yourself in the victim category.
An estimated 9 million people have their identity stolen each year, and we're told by that expert that about a quarter of them don't have any idea that their identities are stolen until about a good 12 months in. That said, with the investigation here at Aurora City Council with those 5 counselors, well, there's a good chance, a really good chance, that they'll never find out exactly who stole those IDs.
Geez, Kevin, to hear you say that they just recently figured out that maybe it was a smart idea to randomly assign the numbers as opposed to doing them geographically and then having us give out the end. I wonder how many people know that.
You know, I remember hearing that a couple years ago, that there was actually this sort of mathematical equation to it, and I completely forgot about it until this guy reminded me today. But I had no idea, and I totally forgot that, you know, this actually existed and thought that maybe they did away with this, and I was surprised to hear that they just pretty much did away with it back in July. So we're going to have to try to figure out everybody's social security numbers now.
I tell you what, it's scary stuff to see it happen, and it happens to so many people in a big clump like that. All right, Kevin Torres reporting from Aurora. Thank you, Kevin.